two more, but to highlight, if you have these prerequisites in your leadership mindset, we work hand in hand, and what we give it, you said incentivize, we give a long-term partnership, decades, and we give you guarantee in this challenging economic times. We give security for payment and orders for 6-12 months, independent from the global economy. And this is where we go. We have a unique long-term relationship where it's believable and unique. And this is probably also with other global brands similar. So, but you need to be the best in the global competition.
To be best in the global competition, that's, I would say, a very...
Can I add on this thing, if you allow me?
One sentence.
Okay. Well, I must say that what Dieter is mentioning, I think what Michael mentioned, togetherness and long-term partnerships is essential for the manufacturers as well, because it does provide the clarity and the consistency that the business is there.
Thank you very much, Mr. Akhtar. I think it's... A word, please.
What my colleague has just mentioned is, in fact, what is the urgent, need of the hour. Because the new requirements, regulatory requirements, necessitate a lot of investment in new technologies and in labor productivity. And just on top of what you were saying regarding price and quality, the other requirements, the traceability and the sustainability, yardstick that has to be leapfrogged. So for SMEs, they need a longer term engagement. It's a sign point, I think, for them to invest. And of course, you become a partner in that investment proposal also. That is what I take from your remarks. So I think that is absolutely the necessity of going forward. Yeah. We need to work on those partnerships.
Thank you so much, and I think it's very remarkable that we get also from the buyer's perspective, from the local producers, and also from our government counterparts, the same highlight: partnerships, long-term commitments, and continuous improvement. I think it's a very strong message. And I would like to ask to Mr. Dieter one more question. If we talk about the key minimum requirements for suppliers, can you just give 3 keywords for that so that we have the understanding in the audience?
I'll give you 2.
Perfect.
Upstream traceability, end to end. If you consider everything what you heard, there is no option. You need to document from the raw material to the spinner, ginner, the way you produce. You need to have the documentation. And the third word is you need to digitalize this. Digitalize, okay? Because the customer want to have on a scanner code in the future all this information instantly. So,
I think it's also a very important point: data availability, data management systems, and digitalization. I think we take with us this very strong message. With that, I would move to Mr. Mihail. You have been working with many factories in Pakistan, and you're working with several business associations. Based on your experience, where do you see the main areas for improvement today? For example, if we look at the energy transparency, water, chemical management, or traceability, what could be important improvements to maintain market access for the local producers?
Yes, thank you for the question. And before I answer it, I would like to say, for my experience, it was really surprising to see how full of energy Pakistan producers are in order to learn to get more information about all that what is coming up. So this openness and the willingness to change is really on a higher level than compared to Bangladesh, India, or Turkey. Second thing is, because these guys beside me are so shy, it counts, because IKEA awarded Gulamed some weeks ago as the most efficient and most sustainability supplier in the IKEA world. Yeah? And it counts because some weeks ago Adidas awarded Forward Sports, located in Sialkot, and making all the footballs, also as the most important, also in comparison to Chinese suppliers, as the most efficient supplier in the world. So it counts, and now we have to come to these topics, the small topics. Of course, for you guys, it's so important to work on the issue of energy reduction. You have to get rid of the fossil stuff. You have to install renewable energy, and you make a big progress in the last year, so therefore that's good. You have to continue. Second, water scarcity, it's an upcoming issue, and also right now you are depleting out of your own water resources, so you have to work for yourself, chemical management as well. But then 2 points more. Women empowerment, bring the ladies in the game, in the workforce as well as in the management sector. If you look to Turkey, that is a role model. They did it 30 years ago, and they really grew up efficiently. And the other thing is nutrition. Feed the people, because the Chinese workers will not work any single hour without good food in lunchtime or in the morning time. So therefore, these are the things we have to work on it, and I'm really happy to do this with 3 dedicated associations. This is Towel Manufacturers Association, PRIGMEA and PSIGMEA, located in Sialkot. So we as German importers need this partnership in order to give all this information, but also give our support to them, that they can work closely together with their producers, and that's what we are doing right now.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mihail, for this inputs, especially highlighting the areas where the priority lies in working together and in reaching for continuous improvement. You are representing around 250 companies from Germany, importers, and we actually hear a lot from Pakistani producers that there is a challenge of many audit requirements and different certifications and standards, which of course have financial implications. From your perspective, how would you see a solution to this challenge? What could be a way forward?
Yeah, that's really a hassle for the producers here, but also in all the other countries. You are facing to so many audit schemes, then testing procedures, and we know a lot of participants, members of the associations, who have a dozen or 10 of these audit certificates and testing certificates. So I think the good news is right now from Europe you will get one single standard, and this is in the frame of the Corporate Sustainability Reporting Directive. That means that is a law, and to this law all European buyers are bonded. So from Sweden, from Germany, from Spain, Italy, France, you name it, maybe in the near future UK. They are bonded to this, and for this we have one single standard with 12 criteria, and that is right now the backbone for these activities in the frame of Green Deal, as well as for the GSP Plus regime. So therefore, if we tackle this, we cannot get rid of them in a minute, but my hope is then with the next 3 years we will dilute it. We have some other regulations in place, and the experts say it will, out of this jungle, maybe 2 or 3 or 4 will survive, and of course there will be the law which is already in force, and therefore we have a strong tool in our hands, and I'm so happy that we can work with this tool with the associations together for the sake of the members, the branches, and the country, of course.
Yeah, setting the golden standard through regulations, it sounds as a good way forward, and also we heard from the Mr. Special Secretary the efforts to also incorporate it into the Pakistan policy landscape and requirements. Thank you for highlighting that, and with this I would like also to come back to the country perspective, to the Sweden perspective, and Mr. Hamid already mentioned the sustainable textile platform, which has been set with the support of Sweden in Pakistan. And Ms. Alexandra, I would like to ask you, how does Sweden perceive the current state of sustainability and the green transition in Pakistan textile sector?
No, thanks for that question, and just let me kind of have as a starting point that Sweden has long been engaged in this region and seen the textile sector and the RMG sector as a strategic priority, not least given the fact that we have big Swedish brands such as, for instance, IKEA and H&M that source a lot from South Asia. And I think that what really struck me when I came here, and that has been said by several panelists before, is the very strong partnership that Swedish brands have with their Pakistani suppliers. Of course, it's a buyer-seller relationship, but I think I have had several insights and experiences where I see that this is also considered from Swedish brands a common journey in the green transition that Pakistan has to make in the textile sector in order to become more competitive. So I think, when I speak to Swedish brands, I hear how impressed they are with the resilience, the reliability and the strength of the textile sector here in Pakistan. So for us, sustainability is part of the Swedish DNA. It's something that is integrated in our society, something that is promoted by our companies, both on the environmental side and the social side, and it's also a priority for the Swedish government. And what we have seen these past years is that sustainability has gone from being something that is a marginal value requirement to something that is going to be business critical for companies in the years to come, not least with the EU requirements coming on due diligence and traceability as we have spoken about. And for us, I think when I look at the sustainability part of the Pakistan textile sector, I think I will have to come back I have written in my notes speed dating in Karachi, and I will have to come back to something that Dieter said, that he said that the relationship between IKEA and the suppliers are a long-term relationship. And that is true in the sense that every time I go down to Karachi to visit IKEA headquarters and have a coffee with Dieter to ask, what's going on, what's the latest, I do have a coffee with Dieter. But without exception, I also have speed dating with at least 5 of IKEA's suppliers in order to kind of see the amazing things they are doing in terms of driving sustainability, driving innovation. So I think that the journey that Pakistan has taken so far is a very, very conscious effort from the big suppliers to drive this journey. At the same time, of course, we all know that there are structural challenges that we need to face together. And as in other sectors, it has to do with a stable and transparent business climate. It has to do with energy access, particularly access to green and renewable energy, which is, the talk of the day now also with what's going on in globally and in the Middle East. It has to do with policy reform and implementation, and also how you create this sustainability across the entire value chain. So in all, I see a textile sector that has very strong foundations when it comes to sustainability. But in the next chapter that we need to undertake together, there is also a great need for faster alignment with the requirements coming from the European Union. And I think that Sweden, as well as many other EU member states, are very keen to partner in this journey together with Pakistan, whether it is policy discussions, whether it is bringing innovative technologies or long-term collaborations. I think there are, it's not only Sweden but also Nordic and EU member states that are keen to undertake this journey together.
Thank you very much, Ms. Alexandra. If you could maybe say a few words on the sustainable textile platform in Pakistan. How does it contribute to more sustainable practices in the sector?
Yeah. So I think the sustainable textile platform that we launched together with our Swedish export promotion agency Business Sweden in 2024 is based on the very simple idea that no single actor is going to be able to do this journey alone. We need a multi-stakeholder approach. So for us it was a way of putting Team Sweden together under one umbrella to see what capacity and what technologies we have to offer. This is also, we had our Swedish brands with us from day one, and also Swedish technology providers. And most importantly, we also had our brand suppliers with us, because if there is some companies that know the realities on the grounds is of course those. So for us, we have decided to go in two different directions that are interconnected. The first one is to try to provide Swedish and Nordic innovative green technology to the Pakistan textile sector in order to support the green transition. But we also need to have policy discussions to close the gaps between policy and the realities on the ground with Pakistani stakeholders. So during the past years we have had very good results, I would say. We have had both policy discussions with different government stakeholders on energy, access to green energy, pricing. We will also be looking forward to looking at circularity and water management. And we have also had delegations of Swedish companies coming in to, again, speed date with the suppliers of our brands and see what can we do to contribute. So I think that in that sense, there are two aspects here to highlight. The first one is that where, of course, we speak, about big brands like IKEA and H&M, and they are all world-renowned. But when it comes to innovative technologies, that is also an opportunity for Pakistan to actually attract the SMEs, the European SMEs that sit on very unique and innovative solutions. And the second thing I think is that, of course, these solutions need to be part of a process and of a systematic approach where suppliers in the end have a system that is more energy efficient, cost efficient, and sustainable. So I think going forward we really look forward to also incorporate the EU perspective in this. EU has been a partner of the platform since day one, but for us it's of course a great thing that the European Investment Bank, for instance, is back in Pakistan and can be probably or hopefully looking at sustainability in the textile sector.
Thank you very much. So we are looking forward for this initiative to enroll and to incorporate more local producers and do the matchmaking with the also European companies. As this panel discussion, we planned to have it more practical oriented, to see what are concrete steps, what are experienced from the practice. And I am very much thankful to our esteemed guest participants for the sharing your perspective. To conclude this panel discussion, I would like to ask you for another sentence, and namely, can you name one concrete commitment or priority until end of 2026 that your organization aims to implement in support of a more competitive and sustainable textile sector in Pakistan? Mr. Hamid, I will start with you.
So, I think most of the participants in the audience are aware that we have last year formulated a new national tariff policy. And as part of one of the basic building block of that tariff policy is to look into products. I'm sure many of the buyers who are sitting here it's very difficult to identify when you go to customs which product is green. So it depends from sector to sector, it depends from the standards that we have just, been informed about. So once you build a standard, then you can actually look at the products which will qualify as being green. So we are committed to reducing the tariffs for those products which qualify as green, so as to support our producers to be more eligible for the new compliance regime as part of the new GSP Plus agenda. So that is one. The second thing, again, as a corollary to this and to complement the ongoing transition, we also are undertaking a comprehensive review of our entire import and export policy order regime as it affects our traders and especially exporters and local producers as well. So we will bring down many restrictions or procedure requirements which we think can be done away with. And this is a very comprehensive regime which will help enabling them accessing more sustainable and recyclable products, not only with a reduced tariff but also with fewer encumbrances or procedure requirements. So I think that will greatly help going forward products as they become eligible for the sustainability and qualification regime.
Thank you so much for sharing this exciting objectives. Ms. Alexandra?
Okay, one sentence. So I think from the Swedish perspective, we look forward to continuing to support the Pakistan textile sector in its in the green transition. And I think I'm ending up where I started with speed dating. I think before Q4, the commitment of Sweden through the Embassy and Business Sweden would be to bring another delegation of Swedish SMEs, green tech innovative companies to speed date with the suppliers of our brands.
Great, thank you so much. Mr. Michael.
Yeah, thanks to the German government, we have the GIZ here and Julia here on the podium, as well as my organization, so funded by the German government. And our goal is right now for this year that we will get more than this kind of reports, which we prepare already, sustainability reports, 32 we have. At the end of this year, we want to have 50 at least. And the second thing is, sorry for this, the second thing is we want to increase the orders and the buying volume of my members here in Pakistan. And therefore we will work hard here in Pakistan, but also then in Germany and promote all these efforts here taking place here in the market.
Mr. Michael, thank you so much. Mr. Dieter.
IKEA will certainly contribute towards the EU regulations and the renewables, but my main commitment needs to come from all of us. All leaders in the room, EU, Business Sweden, embassies, government, anyone, I will activate and mobilize your open mindset to take ownership. With the ownership is the only way, not be close to the business. You need to be in the bottom of the textile business in order to transform the textile business towards a glorious, sustainable future. And I will do anything in my capacity to contribute to this transformation.
Thank you so much, Mr. Dieter. Mr. Akhtar.
Yes, from the manufacturing perspective, our commitment is to work around the digital product passport. Although the delegated exact scope needs to come by 2027, right? But the guidelines are already there, and it's mainly around the composition of the materials that are going into the textiles, the manufacturing processes, and the carbon footprint. So our commitment is to work towards making the infrastructure ready before the regulation hits.
Thank you so much. This is really exciting commitments and really action-oriented. So I'm looking forward to the end of 2026 to see the progress. Thank you so much for your time, for sharing your experience and sharing your vision for the green transition in Pakistan. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. May I request you all, this entire panel, to please come forward for a group photograph. May I request you guys to be in center stage? What an exciting panel this was, answered many questions and also highlighted some of the recent wins for Pakistan. While we are in a habit of always saying that there's so much more that needs to be done and so much more that needs to be desired, but nonetheless celebrating that some of our key partners from around Europe have recognized the Pakistani supply chain to be at its most efficient, effective and sustainable self. Ladies and gentlemen, with this we are going to break for a short coffee break. May I request you all to kindly revert back to this main hall by 3:45 as we will move towards the closing and the wrap-up sessions that will summarize for us all the plenaries and breakouts that have happened and will also put together the closing for the entire forum. So I expect to see you back here at 3:45. Thank you.
But I think that if you want someone that is really the one that
I request the people having coffee at the back to come back to their seats? We are going to start our session now. I know that you guys are having very interesting conversations over coffee, but we really need to be on time. So if I can request everyone to come back to their seats for the wrap-up session.
Do we have Dr. We do.
Where would you like me to sit?
Start from the very end.
This or that?
That end. Lastly, may we have Ms. Yulia Bezanova to please join us up on stage. She is the head of project at GIS. A big warm welcome to all our moderators. Yulia, if you could take this seat, please. Let us begin with the wrap-up session. We are very short on time, so we are going to keep it brief. May I request each of my moderators to maybe perhaps share the one key takeaway that they have found to be most impressive when it comes to their particular session. And since all the sessions happened here in this grand ballroom, except for the one on green logistics. So if I may ask Mr. Babar to please begin this. Mr. Babar, if you could begin with your first key insight from your session that you'd like to share with all of us here.
My session?
Yes.
Okay. How long do you want me to speak?
We only have a cumulative 10 minutes that we are all sharing, and I expect you to be democratic with the use of this time. So maybe a 30-second to a 1-minute wrap-up. One key takeaway that you feel that you would like to share from your session. इसको आप हिला सकते हो, हटा सकते हैं? शुक्रिया भाई, बस अब इसको उस तरफ ले जाओ पूरा. थैंक यू. जी बाबर साहब.
Okay. Well, my session was the logistics session in which we had two private sector companies. One was Saira from TCS, and there was Vamek from SDV, and we had two government organizations. There was Admiral Saab from Port Qasim, and there was Shoaib Saab from NLC. And then we had two people from the finance area. One was Heather Saab from Asian Development Bank, and there was a gentleman from the European investment company. So we had a nice cross-section of views which came up. It was quite interesting. But one of the things that we came out with is that, and I pronounced this at various forums, that if you look at all the modes of transport, out of the 7 modes, we chose to pick up 4 modes, and all the 4 modes we had a fairly detailed discussion. It was on ocean transport, air transport, road transport, and rail transport. So we breezed through some of these areas. We didn't touch the other 3 areas, other 3 modes, because we were not ready for that. But for these areas, I think it was interesting input. And in all these 4 areas, there's a lot of work to be done. I think if we fix this up and we try to fix them, there can be a lot of work that can be done within this industry. From the European Union, from here, we can have more people who come in there. Infrastructure and...
Thank you for that. I'm going to come back to you if there was any particular suggestion that came up about fixing them, but I will come back to that. Afshin, if I may go back to you, and I remember your one comment where you responded to the minister and you said that it was music to your ears, that you would not want, when she exclaimed that the government has no business to be in business. So there are more opportunities opening up for Pakistan in the private sector. How do you see that playing out? And in your opinion as an advisor, what are some of the key hurdles to it that needs to be addressed?
So, why I said it was music to my ears, one of the greatest criticism we receive as Pakistan's market is that most of our private sector is not private sector. It is owned and run by government through different departments and different organizations. But if government has come to this recognition that they have to allow private sector and they have to just inform the policy, that is what governments are meant to do. And that is what, as a private sector advisor, I think would be the way forward. One of the other thing was that if the government is really thinking about investing in, digital identities, both for individuals and businesses, that also removes another hurdle which Pakistan faces, or another criticism that Pakistan faces, that corruption in this country, for the lack of the better word, diplomatic word, is very high. And if we do enforce those infrastructure changes, I think that's going to be very, very encouraging for private sector investors, not only from within the country, but from investors that look at broader aspects such as, the integrity of things, such as sustainability and all of that. So that's why I said that it is music to my ear, because that will enhance the investors' confidence in an economy like Pakistan.
And I think you have quite a challenge in your session, because you had a cross-section and a very diverse panel where the government was there and the private sector was there and the new innovators and founders were also represented. So kudos to you for bringing that together. Dr. Martin, one of the key words that Afshin used is, of course, sustainability and responsibility. There has been a lot of buzz around the mining potential of Pakistan, and that's what your session focused on. How do we make it to be aligned with the sustainability measures and our approach to be more responsible in the present day and time? Whereas for a country like Pakistan, where the struggles are very real, where the capacity gaps are really are very real as well, how do the two realities meet in your opinion?
Yeah, thank you very much. We had an excellent panel with 5 panelists who are also, many of them in a room. And coming to your point, I think the interesting thing was to see that there is this potential, and taking into account the ESG criteria and the human development and the capacity building is such an important element in this on this journey to actually it's considered like a risk assessment as part of the assessment. If a project is bankable, if a project is tangible, this part is an element of this. And I think it was very interesting to hear how companies, but also how the institutions like the UNDP help and support companies and of course the government to help them to put in measures that enable these ESG criteria to be fulfilled.
And I think that is where knowledge centers and people who've been in the business for decades and great examples from around the region can come into play. Last but definitely not the least, Yulia, of course, the blue-eyed industry for Pakistan, but the struggle is very real. Competition is growing up. How does Pakistan stay relevant, sustainable, and competitive? One key takeaway from your session, please.
Thank you. So important is to reach through the supply value chain, address the suppliers, and for the first, and if you would ask me the most important point, to map the suppliers, to support them in data mapping, also in data collection, digitalizing of data, and also important is the partnership. Partnership between the brands, the buying houses with the local producers, transferring the key minimum compliance requirements, longer partnerships, support initiatives with longer term contracts can create stability and also long-term commitment. And this would enhance the ability of small and medium companies, especially to invest long-term into sustainability. That's the key takeaway.
Thank you for that, and these are very timely, insightful recollections that we had from these conversations. I must urge you, they will be available online. I am going to continue these conversations with my fellow moderators later, but in the interest of time, we're going to wrap up the wrap-up, and may I now request the panelists to please come together for a group photograph. So we are aligned with the short format of the digital content these days. This was short and sweet. We wrapped up the wrap-up in record time, ladies and gentlemen. Let's move on to what's in store for you. This is going to be a very interesting conversation. This is the launch of a Better Governance and Better Environment project, from dialogue to delivery. I'm just going to reconfirm if nothing has been pushed up on the agenda. That's what you'd like us to segue into? Brilliant. So from dialogue to delivery, we've had a lot of conversations. These conversations have been pivotal. They've been laying down the foundation for how we can build up towards it. But how do we actually convert it into advancing the green competitiveness of the EU-Pakistan trade, which is essential to taking this conversation forward. So ladies and gentlemen, to the launch of the Better Governance and Business Environment project, may I now invite our moderator to lead this conversation. She is the Public Dialogue Advisor at the GIZ. Please welcome Myra Manzoor.
Thank you, Sidra. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum and a very good afternoon. It is both my privilege and my honor to welcome you to this special launch session of European Union and BMC Joint Action, Better Governance and Business Environment. This is Maya Manzoor, Cooperation and Dialogue Advisor at GIC, and it is my pleasure to moderate this session for today. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to respectfully acknowledge the esteemed dignitaries present with us today. Ms. Maria Jose Pode, Country Director, GIZ, Ms. Kuratul Ain, Acting President, FPCCI, Mr. Jorian William, Head of Cooperation, EU Delegation to Pakistan, Ms. Anna Lippel, Chairman Ambassador to Pakistan, Mr. Raymond Dasker Robles, Ambassador of the European Union to Pakistan, and Mr. Petrus Ustubs, Director for Central Asia and Afghanistan, Directorate General for International Partnership, European Commission. Along with that, we have Mr. Jawad Paul, Federal Secretary Commerce, Ministry of Commerce with us. Dear all, we are honored with your presence today. Over the past 2 days, this forum has brought together policymakers, leaders, industry representatives, and all other kind of stakeholders to explore further avenues of cooperation between Pakistan and EU. Today, this session also marks a significant moment because today we are going to launch Better Governance and Business Environment project. This initiative has been jointly organized, designed, and financed by the European Union and Federal Ministry for Economic Cooperation and Development as part of the broader Team Europe initiative, and it has been implemented by GIZ. My dear guests, this initiative reflects a shared commitment to strengthen governance framework, unlock green and inclusive investment, and enhance Pakistan's competitiveness in global value chain. Without any further delay, to formally set the stage for this important initiative, it is my distinct honor to invite Mr. Petrus Eustups, Director for Central Asia and Afghanistan, Directorate General for International Partnerships, European Commission. Sir, the stage is yours.
Thank you very much, and I'm delighted to be back in the conference. And there is definitely one surprise. Usually when the conferences come to the end, the auditorium is also coming to somehow more emptier, but I see almost every seat filled, and I'm really thrilled to see that people continue to participate in conversations and discussions taking place at this conference. So thank you very much for being with us this afternoon. And as it is clearly said, we have a project what we would like jointly to promote, because we do believe that it will leave lasting opportunities for many small and medium-sized enterprises in Pakistan. Federal Secretary Jawad Paul, our direct government counterpart in this program, Your Excellencies, ambassadors, Raimundas, as well as Ambassador of Germany, Ina Lepel. Nice meeting you. And this program is a true Team Europe program, which is financed by the EU and Germany together. Thank you very much for German ambassador to be with us today. And our implementing partner for this project is GIZ, without whom this program would not be possible to be implemented in the country. As well as I'm delighted to welcome representatives of the Federation of the Chambers of Commerce of Industry, who is the key private partner in the Team Europe program we are talking about today. I can hardly think of better setting to launch the Better Governance and Business Environment program than here at the high-level EU-Pakistan Business Forum. The goal of the forum, of this program, is to align perfectly. I think it matches both ends, to boost trade and enhance competitiveness via sustainable transformation of the businesses, attract investments, and ensuring that no one, especially women, nor the SMEs, is left behind, and we accelerate the economic development of Pakistan. That's the theme and the main objective of this conference. And I would therefore like to provide you with an understanding why it is for the European Union important that we decided to launch this particular program. And I would like to highlight two specific aspects, and namely, first, our commitment to sustainability, and secondly, our commitment to economic development of Pakistan. And both those aspects are heavily represented in the project we are talking about. The European Union has long been committed to creating green and sustainable future. Our goal is to become first carbon neutral continent in the world by 2050. To do so, we have made a roadmap, so-called European Green Transition, which would provide blueprint for complete transition of our economy, and it is included also in the very strict regulatory framework which each and every company operating and providing services and trade with the European Union must comply with. And those are following rules. A full control of the entire value chain of the products from the farm to fork, as we say, or perhaps more appropriate in case of Pakistan to make the reference from farm to fashion. Throughout this value chain, we must ensure that carbon emissions are strictly controlled. There must be complete and full transparency how companies are complying with these requirements issued by the EU regulations. To make sure that we have a level playing field, but also to ensure that we are making headway globally in tackling climate change, what applies for the European companies working inside the single market is also equally important, that actually those green standards would also need to be applied for the companies intending to export goods into the EU single market, in this case from Pakistan. We see that large Pakistani companies are quite advanced and adopting very well what needs to be done, and evolving green standards are moving forward very fast. And we see some very good examples during our discussions earlier today at the textile panel, how exactly those elements are carried forward. Yet, for the export-oriented small and medium-sized enterprises from Pakistan, we must acknowledge that complying with those sustainability regulations can be challenging. And therefore, we look forward for the ways of helping small and medium-sized enterprises to comply with the regulations. Compliance is not a choice, but it is a necessity if small and medium-sized enterprises want to retain unrestricted access to the EU single market. And this project can help them to achieve all those targets in several ways. For instance, saving money and the planet by taking simple measures to improve efficiencies in the production process. We have seen that hands-on technical assistance in small and medium-sized enterprises can save energy, reduce use of chemicals and the water, and thus save both costs, production costs, increase the profits, as well as save the planet. Supporting small and medium-sized enterprises with green investments through co-financing of those investments and through better working with other producers and with the governments to share cost for large-scale green investment necessity for the compliance. Think, for instance, concerning the efficient treatment plants, which are beyond the reach of the small and medium-sized enterprises, but could be financed collectively. Probably innovative approach, but if it is necessary for compliance and export operations, why not? Those type of green investments are exactly the type where we would like and we would be able to use so-called de-risking instruments from the Global Gateway. Through this program, we hope that access to green credit lines, blended finance instruments, and risk-sharing facility will be substantially increased. Finally, the Team Europe project is to support the government to put in place the regulatory framework that will make it easier for small and medium-sized enterprises to work towards compliance with international as well as EU standards. We are confident that doing so will increase market access and attract more international investments to Pakistan. When implementing this Team Europe program, specific attention will be given to the issues of the women, inclusion and empowerment. We have made some concrete targets and ambitions to make sure that the program targets, in particular, women-led small and medium-sized enterprises. We do this not just because women empowerment is nice to have addition to the program, but we know well, as we have seen elsewhere, and we have concrete examples around the globe, when women succeed, economies grow. Ladies and gentlemen, the success of this program ultimately relies on all of us. To our government partners, first of all, we count on your leadership to drive reforms and create an enabling environment all across the country. The fact that we have representatives today from the Ministry of Commerce with us today is the strong indication of this commitment, and we are looking forward to work closely with you. And we hope to build on this movement forward and make sure that the program is implemented fast and dynamically. And secondly, to the private sector, I strongly encourage you to engage with this program and seize the opportunities which will be provided by the opportunities and what will derive from the program in broader sense. And I have to say, I'm looking forward to see the fruits of this program when they will come and materialize, and will be materialized sooner or later. And I would like to see those and visit those small and medium-sized enterprises who will succeed under the program and make sure that actually we see those products reaching the EU under the new opportunities provided by our cooperation. Once again, thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Usto, for these insightful remarks and for highlighting the importance of EU-Pakistan cooperation, specifically under BG&BE. Moving forward, to take us deeper into the vision and strategic direction of the BG&BE initiative, I would like to call Ms. Yulia Bazanova, Project Head of BG&BE program, to present the objectives and operational approach to the project.
Thank you very much, Myra. So I'm navigating the slides. Yes, dear esteemed partners and participants, I am very happy to introduce to you this initiative brought to us by the European Union and by the German Federal Ministry for Economic Cooperation and Development. It is planned for 5 years and with a budget of around 24 million. And the major objective is to promote sustainable economic development in Pakistan and to support the small and medium enterprises to go through the green transition, and of course to strengthen the governance sector and the governance systems. So if we move forward, this program is designed along the 3 components. The first component would be focusing on the public sector governance improvement, fostering and promoting the policy strengthening SMEs through SME Green Accelerator, the Challenge Fund. This is a very unique opportunity brought to us by the commissioners. And also the third component will be focusing on the easing the access of SMEs to the finance. I would like to highlight the Challenge Fund, which is a very unique setup of this project to really ensure that the small medium companies receive the grants and can implement the solutions to promote the green transition. So for the Challenge Fund, it is planned to allocate around 6 million euros and to have a competitive process for the small and medium enterprises, for the local service providers. We name them under the Trajectory 1 and Trajectory 2, and we criteria and with the quality criteria. There are several cycles planned of this Challenge Fund, and to enhance the impact and to ensure that each project is to the producers in different sectors, export-oriented sectors. We will be focusing on the textiles, fashion, leather, sports goods, surgical instruments, and rice value chain. And for technical service providers, we plan to support the innovative solutions, for example, to implement digital product passports or other relevant regulations from the EU Green Deal. So the Green Accelerator approach, it is designed to support SMEs before the grants are allocated to go through the sustainable transformation, going through the change management process and aligning their cost structures, enhancing the energy efficiency, enhancing the HR systems, also fostering the product innovations, organizational development, more efficient energy and chemical management. We plan to reach with this program around 600 SMEs, and also to support them in the first part with the sustainability journey, in the second part with the developing of the investment strategies and bankable project proposal. We plan to have several cycles of the Challenge Fund. The one, sorry, just a moment. Okay, yes. We plan 3 cycles for the Challenge Fund for SMEs and 2 cycles for the local service providers. So the key targets, we want to strengthen the cooperation between public and private sector, launching very concrete initiatives, joint public-private actions, also strengthening the public sector institutions to enhance the policy implementation, disperse around 120 grants, including special window for women-led enterprises, and of course to support the SME green transition. So we are very much looking forward to this journey and to join the hands together with the private sector, public sector, and with the financing institutions. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ms. Yulia, for outlining the ambition and structure of the BGBE project. Building on these experiences, the European Union and BMZ are now taking this work forward under the Better Governance and Business Environment project. These examples clearly demonstrate with the right supported partnership, transformation is already underway and ready to be scaled further. Just a second. And without, can we move to the next slide? Due to the shortage of time, we are skipping this video, but I can share it with you later. With that being said, without any further ado, it is my privilege to call Mr. Jawad Paul, Federal Secretary, Commerce, Ministry of Commerce, to share his reflections. Sir, we would be honored to hear from you.
Excellency Ramandas Karaboulos, Ambassador of European Union to Pakistan, Mr. Jerome Williams, Mr. Peteres Eusturbs, Ma'am Barbara Erickson, Ma'am Yulia Bazanova, Madam Kuratulan, government officials, guests from the private sector, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Let me at the outset convey my sincere regrets on behalf of Commerce Minister Mr. Jan Kamal Khan for being unable to make this event due to his indisposition. Ladies and gentlemen, it is indeed a pleasure to join this important session on the launch of Better Governance and Business Environment. Now, Pakistan highly values its economic partnership with the European Union, which reflects both the scale and strategic importance of the relationship. The GSP Plus framework has been central to this partnership. It has supported Pakistan's exports, particularly in value-added sectors, and has also encouraged improvements in compliance, governance, labor standards, and sustainability-oriented reforms. Pakistan's progress in labor rights, environmental compliance, and responsible business practices has also been supported by strong engagement with international partners. In this regard, we acknowledge joint initiatives such as decent work and better work with International Labour Organization, capacity building programs with GIZ, improvement of labor, social and environment standards in Pakistan's textile industries, and related women's empowerment interventions. These initiatives have helped to build the ecosystem in aligning Pakistan's sustainability commitments with existing and evolving supply chains. One important reality must be recognized. Pakistan's large-scale manufacturing sectors continue to anchor exports and industrial output. But the next phase of sustainable export growth will require a much stronger focus on SMEs. This is where the real challenge lies. And this is where the better governance and business environment becomes particularly relevant. Export-oriented SMEs often face constraints in technical capacity, compliance readiness, process upgrading, certification, and access to green finance. Now, better governance and business environment is a practical way by combining policy support, enterprise upgrading, technical assistance, dialogue platforms, and investment facilitation. The project is grounded in the realities of Pakistan's SME ecosystem. Export-oriented SMEs often face real barriers in meeting international sustainability standards, assessing green finance, and integrating into higher value global supply chains. This project directly responds to the three constraints. The SME Green Accelerator and Challenge Fund are especially promising features of the project. By helping firms prepare bankable proposals, access matching grants, adopt cleaner technologies, and improve compliance, the project can make the green transition more practical and investable for Pakistani enterprises. We also welcome the project's emphasis on gender inclusion, particularly its support for women-led enterprises and gender-responsive systems. Inclusive growth must remain an integral part of Pakistan's export modernization strategy. From the Ministry of Commerce perspective, the better governance and business environment is important because it strengthens the broader policy objective of linking trade competitiveness, sustainability, SME upgrading, and institutional reform. It is a practical measure, a platform through which Pakistan and European Union can work together to build greener and more competitive value chains. Our message today is clear. Pakistan is committed to ensuring its firms, especially its SMEs, are not left behind in the global transition towards greener, more transparent and standards-driven trade. We want this transition to be credible, inclusive, and commercially viable. We look forward to working closely with the European Union, BMZ, GIZ, industry stakeholders, financial institutions, and development partners to ensure that the better governance and business environment delivers concrete results in the form of stronger SMEs, higher quality exports, better compliance, and more sustainable economic growth. We also value in the project's governance model. The project steering committee, co-chaired by the Ministry of Commerce and the EU delegation, provides a useful framework for ownership, coordination, and accountability. The immediate priorities identified in the inception phase, including the establishment of governance structures, policy gap analysis, launch of the Greening Accelerator, operationalization of the Challenge Fund, and stronger public-private dialogue on SME finance are all practical steps in the right direction. We look forward to working closely with the European Union, BMZ, GIZ, industry partners, service providers, and financial institutions to ensure that this project delivers measurable results for enterprises, especially SMEs, and contributes to greener and more inclusive export growth. The launch of Better Governance and Business Environment project is not simply the start of a project. It is the beginning of a more structured partnership to help Pakistani SMEs compete, comply, and grow in a greener global economy. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much, Dr. Jawad Paul Saab, for your encouraging remarks and for acknowledging the efforts as well. Ladies and gentlemen, we now arrive at the highlight of this session, the official digital inauguration of Better Governance and Business Environment project. For that, may I kindly invite our distinguished dignitaries on stage. May I invite Ms. Maria Jose Pode, Country Director GIZ, to come on stage on the left side of the stage. Ms. Kuwatul N, Acting President FPCCI, please join us on stage with Ms. Maria on the left side. Next, Mr. Jerian Williams, Head of Cooperation EU Delegation to Pakistan. Please join us on stage on the left side. Ms. Anna Lippel, German Ambassador to Pakistan. Please join us on the right side of the stage. Next, Mr. Remendas Karobulis, Ambassador of the European Union to Pakistan. Sir, please join us on the right side of the stage. Mr. Petrus Ostoops, Director for Central Asia and Afghanistan, Directorate General for International Partnerships, European Commission. Please join us on stage at the right side. And Honorable Mr. Jawad Paul, Federal Secretary Commerce, Ministry of Commerce, please join us on stage at the right side. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now moving towards the digital inauguration of EU-BMZ Joint Action, Better Governance and Business Environment. I would call my team to play the video. I now request our esteemed dignitaries, Mr. Jawad Paul, Federal Secretary of Commerce, and Mr. Petrus Ostoops, Director for Central Asia and Afghanistan, to kindly proceed towards the digital stand in front of you, and I would request all others to join behind them. And on the count of 3, I would request Mr. Jawad Paul and Mr. Petrus to please together press your hand on the digital stand to inaugurate. 3, 2, 1. Please move slide. Dear delegate, we appreciate your energy and acknowledgement through your round of applause. People at the back, please remember a huge round of applause. Dear dignitaries, please stand for a few seconds so we can record this memorable moment in the camera lens. As this moment represents a collective commitment bringing together public institutions, private sector financial partners, and international stakeholders to advance a more sustainable, competitive, and future-ready economy for Pakistan. Respected dignitaries, we thank you and we are honored to launch this special initiative in your presence here. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we officially launched the Better Governance and Business Environment project, a step forward from dialogue to delivery, from commitment to action. Before we conclude, I would like to extend can we have, dear guests, can we have you for a few more seconds? We need to take a picture. Yeah, group picture, yeah. Apologies for the inconvenience. Can we please have the photographers? We need to remember this moment. Please capture it in the camera lens. Yeah, gender balance is very good. Respected dignitaries, we again thank you, and we are so honored to launch this initiative into your presence here. If we can do one slide back. Once again, thank you so much for your presence on stage. Ladies and gentlemen, before we conclude, I would like to extend our sincere appreciation to European Union and German Federal Ministry for Economic Cooperation and Development for their continued support in designing and financing this initiative. I would also like to appreciate the role of Ministry of Commerce for their partnership and commitment, as it is instrumental in enabling this journey towards a more sustainable and competitive future. Dear respected guests, on behalf of GIZ and our partners, I thank you for your valuable time and presence. Today, we do not launch a project, we begin a shared journey towards transformation. Wishing you a very pleasant evening ahead. Signing off, thank you.
Well, congratulations to all our counterparts as they come together for better governance and better environment. This is truly worth reporting. Ladies and gentlemen, you'll see it implemented from now all the way on to 2030. And as many of our speakers have alluded, this is calling for more inclusive, more incredible, and cost-effective business opportunities for all those involved. Ladies and gentlemen, as a special, we now have further firming up of some of the ideas over here. From dialogue to delivery, we have a special intervention in the program now as we sign some very important MOUs. For this, once again, ladies and gentlemen, may I request Mr. Jeroen Willems, the head of cooperation at the EU in Pakistan, to please join us up on stage and lead this bit. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Jeroen Willems.
Assalamu alaikum. Are you still alive? That's good. Congratulations. You almost made it to the end. And like they always like to say, we like to save the best for last. So this is actually a part of the ceremony that we had not yet planned, but we had hoped. And like the Business Forum, when you dream, sometimes hopes become reality. And I think that's also very much the case for what gathers us today for this impromptu 2-3 minutes edition before we go to the closing of the first ever high-level EU-Pakistan Business Forum. And that dream is very much about bringing the European Investment Bank back into Pakistan. We had that dream, but today it will become a reality. So I would like very much to ask 2 signatories of a new loan agreement to come to the stage. That is Edvardas Boom-Steiners, who is head of division of the European Investment Bank Asia Pacific Division. Edvardas, please come to the stage. Edvardas. But for a signature, you need 2 people. So we also would like very much Mr. Humayr Karim, Federal Secretary at the Ministry of Economic Affairs, to join us on stage. And when you sign something important like this, you are, of course, all our witnesses, but it's also good to have some witnesses in the picture. So I would like to ask our ambassador, Raimundas Karoblis, our director, Peteris Ustups, but also the colleagues from the Ministry of Economic Affairs to join us behind Edvardas Boom-Steiners and Mohammed Humayr Karim. And while we're sorting out the logistics and the beauty of this picture, let me tell you what actually these 2 gentlemen are about to sign. These are 2 agreements, total 160 million euros. One is to bring better water quality to Karachi, 60 million euros. And another one is to build climate resilient houses in Sindh. So when we say Global Gateway, this is your picture. Global Gateway in Pakistan, coming alive. Ladies and gentlemen, I see that we have started making the signatures. So I think that deserves a very big round of applause.
Jeroen, can we have you up here for the photograph, please? Congratulations to the signatories. May this project go forward as planned, meeting the timelines, getting all the stakeholders together. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been a true honor to be moderating this high-level EU-Pakistan Business Forum that in the past days have brought so many ideas in the forefront and have actually paved the way to making them a reality, to setting up the foundation that will allow for that kind of transformation to happen. We started this conversation on the note that it is more than just the volume of businesses, the value that we add to these businesses, to these industries, and to the global population. So that's exactly what the aim is, and now we move towards the final closing of this event.
They will take tea anyway, even if you don't say take tea.
But it could be, by this time it gets so sketchy that the two talks, it would be hard to get them back in here in time. So let's not try and disperse them. But
unless we know he's basically here. Yeah. And for that I need courtesy. He's on his way means what?
estimated time of arrival? ETA?
Leaving from there, from the ministry.
So let us give me a thumbs up. Ladies and gentlemen, for the final closing, we are waiting for the Honorable Federal Minister to join us shortly. But as we've just celebrated the signing of this program that is going to reach hundreds and thousands of people till 2030 and will ensure better governance and business opportunities and business environment for all, we have an introductory video regarding it. It will detail what all it entails and what are the key focus areas. Let us try and aim for that to be played. This will give you a good overview. Ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look at this video that details all that this initiative is all about. Let's take a look.
The EU is a key trading partner for Pakistan, accounting for 23.5% of its total trade, with textiles making up the largest percentage of exports. After the EU Green Deal, Pakistan's exporting industries had to strengthen capacity to protect its GSP Plus status. To support Pakistan's industries, the European Union and the German Ministry of Cooperation and Development have joined hands in a Team Europe effort to design and finance the Better Governance and Business Environment project, implemented by GIZ.
GIZ support was instrumental for our growth here in Blackhill. As an SME in Pakistan, we face a lot of different challenges, including production capacity, national and international legislations, especially the changes after the EU Green Deal. European buyers are now demanding better quality products at higher compliance levels. As an SME in Pakistan, we sometimes lack in this area because of no knowledge or experience. To grow our business and to meet these international requirements, we need external support in following areas: certifications and international standards, sustainable circular products and processes, diversity and inclusion.
GIZ के साथ हमारा सफ़र 2022 में शुरू हुआ। इस सफ़र का मकसद ये था कि हम एज अ SME अपनी कंपनी को इंटरनेशनल स्टैंडर्ड्स के साथ अलाइन कर सकें। GIZ ने हमें डिफरेंट एरियाज़ में सपोर्ट किया, जिसमें सबसे पहले हमने अपने HR डिपार्टमेंट को इस्टेब्लिश किया, देन वुमेन वर्कफोर्स को इंक्रीज़ किया। करंटली हमारी रेशियो 2% to 16% जा चुकी है। साथ ही साथ हमने अपने इंटरनल ग्रीवेंस रिड्यूसिंग मैकेनिज्म को स्ट्रॉन्ग किया। इसके साथ हमने सोलर एनर्जी पे खुद को शिफ्ट किया। करंटली हम 85% ऑफ सोलर एनर्जी पे वर्किंग कर रहे हैं और इन फ्यूचर हमारा इसको 100% पे ले जाने का टारगेट है। और ना सिर्फ इसके बाद हमने अपने एग्जिस्टिंग प्रोडक्ट्स को इम्प्रूव किया, फर्दर इन पे R&D के बाद हमने न्यू लॉन्चेस की। सक्सेसफुली लॉन्चेस के बाद हमने अपनी वर्किंग को इंटरनेशनल ट्रेड शो में पेरिस में प्रेजेंट किया, जिसकी बदौलत हमें फर्स्ट टाइम EU मार्केट में एक्सेस मिला, जिसका इम्पैक्ट ये हुआ कि हमारे टर्नओवर पे 7.5% इंक्रीज रिकॉर्ड हुआ।
Building on these achievements, we at Blackhill now expanding in leather tanning. As an SME CEO, I'm looking forward for Project BG and BE to capacitate us to produce sustainable and traceable leather products.
While our support has focused on advancing circular products, sustainability, and compliance, we are also working closely with partner industries to improve productivity, operational efficiency, and workforce performance. Let's hear from another industry.
We started our unit in 2010 primarily hiring only females. Two of the major challenges that we faced was one, increasing our production efficiency, and the second was reducing our training timeline. When we partnered with GIZ on a few recent initiatives, we were able to increase our production efficiency by 10%, and we were able to substantially reduce our training timeline from 6 months to 3 months. So that also allowed us to save on our training costs by 50% and an additional 5.4 million rupees per year. European brands have been a huge part of our customer base. GIZ's initiatives has allowed us to gain a deeper understanding of the European regulations and has allowed us to improve our manufacturing processes, which has given us a deeper exposure into the European market. There is a greater demand for green practices, and while we do our best to uphold ourselves to all international standards, women-focused SMEs do require support in that area. SMEs need to strengthen their technical capabilities and develop bankable green solutions, which is why I believe projects such as BG and DE will have great potential.
After partnership with GIZ, companies like Blue Horizon established change management teams to implement critical interventions. With this structure, these companies are ready and trained to execute any upcoming initiatives. Building on these experiences, the European Union and the German Ministry of Economic Cooperation and Development are now continuing the work under the Better Governance and Business Environment Project, implemented by GIZ.
The conference. Do we have any hands in the hall? Can I see any hands? Oh, we have a hand over there. Can somebody take the mic to that gentleman? So if you introduce yourself first and your organization, and then maybe share the feedback. Can we have the mic? Can we have volume adjusted to the mic, please?
Yeah, so it was a very good event organized by EU. So the key takeaways from I take from this event is that as an entrepreneur, I got exposure to new industries.
Can you hold the mic closer, please?
Yeah, so as an entrepreneur, I have got exposure about new industries. I was already in IT export business, but now I am thinking to expand to textile export as well. I have met very good people over here, which will be helping me in future in my existing businesses and my upcoming businesses as well. And the speakers here shared a very good insight about the market and the key challenge we have when exporting services or products, certifications. We got very great insight about certifications as well. So thank you, European Union, for for this event. Yeah. So.
Mike.
Thank you. What was your name again? Sorry, I didn't catch that.
Ahmed Khan.
Ahmed, thank you for sharing your experience with us. I'm very happy that you had chance to network with people and identify opportunities for yourself. Any other takers? We have another hand over there, please.
My name is Moiz Rafe from the Aga Khan Foundation. We're a civil society organization and our mission is to eradicate poverty. And we do what we can, but my heartfelt belief is that poverty in Pakistan is not going to be tackled by the civil society sector. It's going to be tackled by the private sector. When people get jobs, they are beneficiaries, but they don't even know it. And that's the best way to help people, not leave any sort of debt. Pakistan needs entrepreneurs more than anything. And I'm so happy to see European investment, especially the kind of investment showcased at this event, which is focused on the exact things that European Union based on data feels that Pakistan needs. So thank you for this event. Thank you very much.
Thank you for sharing your experience. Any other takers?
Can you hear me? Yeah, my name is Tausif here. I'm the CEO of IBS International. I just wanted to say thanks to the whole management, the organizing committee, and above all to the European Union to have such a wonderful event where we had a great opportunity to meet people, like-minded people, and to, great opportunity, great platform for the networking as well. Thank you once again. Thank you very much.
We have another hand, and thank you, sir, for sharing your experience.
Thank you very much. My name is Usman, and I just wanted to highlight few of the important outcomes that we have observed in this EU forum. Looking forward, to be honest, it has been a great experience here. We are keen for EU member states, all of the great EU member states, to partner with Pakistani businesses in 4 transformative areas. And I would repeat that 4 transformative areas that we have taken out here, and that this is very important. Number 1, that is agribusiness and value addition. We invite investment in fully integrated value chains, particularly in dairy, meat, horticulture, and to transform Pakistan into a high-quality food basket for Europe. And this is very, very important and very critical. And number 2, agri-tech and digital leap. That's another very important area where we need focus of EU member states to hold hands and to join hands with the Pakistani entrepreneurs, agripreneurs, and AI startups as well. So we seek the transfer of precision agriculture, technologies, AI-driven farming, and fintech. Fintech is very important for women entrepreneurs. And solutions to modernize our rural economy and increase yields to meet global benchmarks. And the global benchmarks are set by European Union as itself, because they are the largest importers also in many ways. So then we come to the green logistics and connectivity. It has been a wonderful session this morning on the green logistics and connectivity. I believe there are so much opportunities to work together with Pakistan Logistics, and that is as discussed in our breakout sessions. We are ready to collaborate. Pakistan is ready to collaborate on sustainable transport and supply chain infrastructure that ensures our products reach European markets efficiently and with responsibility. So last, very important fourth point, which is sustainable textiles and mining. So, you know, what we got out of the mining and the sustainable textiles is we are committed to work with European partners to enhance the green competitiveness of our textiles sector, and especially the circular textiles, and develop responsible mineral resource partnerships. So very shortly, the road ahead is no longer a distant vision. It is a shared roadmap. It has to be a shared roadmap, and we are looking forward to transformative partnerships, not just one-sided or short-lived partnerships. And let us leverage the momentum from this forum to build an economy that is resilient, innovative, and deeply integrated with European Union and European standards. The revolution in Pakistan's export landscape begins now, and that is very important. We look forward to welcoming your expertise, all of the European Union member states, and your technology should be coming more, and cold chain practices and all of that, and your investment as we chart this future together. Thank you very much for your
Thank you, sir, and a huge round of applause for all the participants who shared their experience with us. And now I'm going to pass it on back to our Master of Ceremonies, Sidra Iqbal. As the Minister, I've been informed that he's just ready to join us in a minute. So over to you, Sidra.
Thank you for some very candid heart-to-heart. We were able to gather some insights and take them forward. I have been informed we are just a few minutes more into waiting for the Honorable Federal Minister of Climate Change and Environmental Coordination to be joining us. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been an honor. And while we are waiting, may I once again request Afshin to come join me, and maybe we can just recap on some of the things that we're talking about. So Afshin, while you were listening to some of the feedback, and I know that you have a few more events planned up, and that is exactly what the EU-Pakistan Forum is intending to do, how do you see the next one shaping up?
So, since the Honorable Minister is walking in as well, I'm going to be very, very succinct. What I heard was that there was a lot of networking that happened. There were a lot of opportunities that were identified not only for the new entrepreneurs, but the existing businesses as well. I also see that the priority sectors that were identified through this forum have resonated with the type of investments that is available in this room, not only domestically but internationally as well. So these are the opportunities I think can make the way for the next bridging of EU financing, and I think they also kind of relate with the Global Gateway initiative that we have under the EU.
And I think timeline-wise, they can be fast-tracked. Thank you once again for being a great sport and joining me to summarize this. And now, ladies and gentlemen, thank you, Afshin. we are going to segue into the closing of our formal EU-Pakistan Business Forum. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to lead this one, and we are going to once again very respectfully invite His Excellency, the Ambassador of European Union. I must also let you know, ladies and gentlemen, let's give a big round of applause to our honorable speaker. He is, of course, the Federal Minister for Climate Change and Environmental Coordination. We have with us the Honorable Musaddiq Malik Saab. Thank you, Minister, for making time for us today. And without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, to lead this closing ceremony, may I now request His Excellency, Mr. Raimundas Kairoboulos, the Ambassador of the European Union to Pakistan, to stage. Ladies and gentlemen, His Excellency.
Thank you very much. So now it's time for conclusions. Actually, so this is how all the such kind of events they are ending. Honorable Minister of Climate Change and Environment Coordination, Dr. Musaddiq Masood Malik, esteemed Director Peteris Justups from European Commission, our colleague, Excellencies, Ambassadors of the European Union Member States, distinguished business leaders, dear private and public sector representatives, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamu alaikum and good afternoon. It has been an incredible journey the last 2 days and before for us. Here in Islamabad, a city that has recently been very much in the spotlight. As we wrap up this landmark event, I want to take a moment to reflect on what we have achieved. We have had over 1,000 participants from government, business, financial institutions, and international organizations, which came together to explore opportunities and discuss challenges. Our business-to-business and business-to-financier meetings have facilitated over 600 conversations about potential collaborations. More than 10 times we gathered in the different parts of the Marriott Hotel to learn about the ins and outs of doing business in Pakistan and Europe through the plenaries, lightning talks, and breakout sessions. The European Union-Pakistan Business Network is now up and running, giving over 300 European companies operating in Pakistan, and now it's in a unified voice. Recently, a few minutes ago, the European Investment Bank and the government signed a second loan agreement, this time on Sindh housing, with the amount more than 100 euros. It's the second loan agreement within 5 years, and it marks the return of the European Investment Bank to Pakistan after the absence of more than a decade. We launched a Team Europe program designed to support small and medium-sized enterprises in better accessing the biggest single market in the world, and it was done, half an hour ago. Our goal for the last 2 days has been to bring people together and create a platform for European and Pakistani participants to engage with one another and explore commercial collaborations. I think we have done something truly remarkable here, and I would therefore like to take this opportunity to thank everyone who has contributed to the success of the first ever high-level European Union-Pakistan Business Forum. Well, I thought that applause should be late a little bit when I conclude this congratulatory part, including our partners from government of Pakistan, the European Union member states, every speaker who conquered the stage, all participants, our partners from Particip GmbH, who did a great job in organizing the event, and everyone in between. Special thanks for my team, the team of the European Union delegation, leadership of Jeroen, and his team. Some people, they are working already more than a year on this forum. Some from the team joined quite recently, but yeah, great leadership, but also, so it was finally the all delegation approach. Thank you very much. So, now it's time to upload. Thank you very much. Yeah, the numbers speak for themselves. The European Union continues to be a top export destination for Pakistan, accounting for nearly, actually 28% of ILOT exports, and it's clear more than other destinations. The momentum created by this forum presents a unique opportunity for the European Union and Pakistan to strengthen their economic relations ties. I firmly believe that the potential for growth is great, and thanks to the energy and enthusiasm generated by this forum. Of course, I was speaking more about figures, what was done. Well, we need to look what will be in the future. For example, what are the results, what are the fruits of this 600 B2B exercises, but I really hope that we are on the right track. So, everyone who is here today, business leaders, investors, policymakers, and entrepreneurs, I invite each and every one of you to take the next step, to seize the initiative, follow through on your discussions, and work collaboratively to turn ideas into reality. Likewise, I would like to extend my invitation to our partners in the government. During this forum, we have identified the key challenges that are impeding the growth of stronger economic relations between the European Union and Pakistan. The European Union is committed to collaborating with you to resolve these issues, streamline procedures, eliminate unnecessary bureaucracy, and create a favorable environment where business, particularly small and medium-sized enterprises, can thrive, expand, and access to the vast European market. In the same way, we are ready to discuss constructively the preparation of the Pakistan government in the reapplication to the new European Union GSP Plus system, which is key for continuation and even enhancement of Pakistani exports. Let us build on the energy and momentum generated by this forum to drive progress together, to overcome the challenges that lie again ahead, and let us turn our shared commitments into the tangible results. Finally, we had 2 weeks of exchanging, networking, and building connections with the private sector and our partners in government. We consider this forum as the starting point for a series of initiatives that will enable us to strengthen economic ties and to enhance the economic cooperation between the European Union and Pakistan. In the coming weeks and months, we will maintain dialogue with the companies present here to identify opportunities for providing support and facilitating connections with their European counterparts, whether through tailored events or targeting matchmaking opportunities with either clients, suppliers, and financiers. And with that, I thank you most sincerely joining the high-level EU-Pakistan Forum. And, well, with the traditional motto already, so motto of probably of the Forum, but in particular of the European Union-Pakistan Business Network, but that we are stronger together. Thank you very much. Shukriya.
Thank you, Ambassador Karaboulis, for not just those heartwarming words, but also this initiative that has brought together so many people, so many partnerships across the table from each other. We feel that this people-to-people corridor, seeing is believing, we're fighting at many turfs. We, of course, want to correct the perception and the ease of doing business in Pakistan while bringing in the capacity to be more effective, to be more sustainable, to bring in incredible products and the real potential of Pakistan to the world. Ladies and gentlemen, of course, Pakistan being one of the most vulnerable countries when it comes to climate, it was also very, very enriching to see how throughout these 2 days, climate and sustainability and environmental coordination was at the heart, at the very center of these conversations. We are just not talking about transforming into more profitable businesses for counterparts, but we're also considering how it will impact the environment, not just immediately for the communities and for the country, but for world over. Therefore, it is of significant relevance that we also have the Honorable Federal Minister for Climate Change and Environmental Coordination here with us. Sir, without any further ado, may I request you for your keynote and your closing remarks. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming the Honorable Musaddiq Malik Sahab, the Federal Minister for Climate Change and Environmental Coordination.
Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, I'm very grateful for getting invited here. I see a lot of friends sitting in the audience. But I'm very grateful that you gave me the opportunity to come here and speak with you at this esteemed forum. I'm also very grateful to Ambassador Karaboulis for his leadership. He's truly transformed for the short duration that he's been here. He's transformed and he's in the process of transforming the relationship between Europe and Pakistan. And of course, Europe is pivotal for us because we have deep-rooted relationships with Europe, and they're also one of our largest trading partners. So this relationship is very important for us. And we're very grateful for all the excellencies, individual ambassadors of each country who've been leading the charge, and also grateful to His Excellency for putting it all together for us. I'm also thankful to Peter Stabs, who's done a lot of effort to put this together. Just a few months ago, it looked so difficult, and everyone has put this together so elegantly that it looks like, oh wow, it was always planned like this. Of course, 2 thumbs up to the Ministry of Commerce. They've done a fantastic job, and also to SIFC for supporting them. From my perspective, that's all I should say. This is a concluding remark, right? But from my perspective, I think all of these relationships are about creating synergy. And synergy for what? For wealth creation, for national wealth creation, not just in Pakistan, but in all the countries, all of our partners. I personally believe that at the heart of wealth creation is productivity. And if you want productivity, one-time productivity you can get from technology. But long-term productivity or sustainable productivity only comes from a system of innovation. So I think through the partnerships that we have put forth over the past few days, what we are creating is this engine for ingenuity and innovation. And I think if we are able to do that, this would lead to diffusion of technology over a period of time and eventually towards wealth creation. So this is perhaps the most credible and fantastic platform for what I'm calling the innovation ecology. When people meet, they just don't share businesses, they just don't share technologies. They share the tacit understanding of how businesses operate. And sometimes this tacit understanding of how businesses should be run doesn't naturally proliferate. So when people meet, cultures meet, technologies meet, new ways of thinking take place, new business models come forth, fantastic ideas somewhere here, some unicorn ideas sitting in some corner, they may find their voice in the global value chain. And that basically is the theater of change. Because change is nothing but a belief amongst people, particularly the young people, that change is on the horizon. So one home run from this room, and we'd have confidence in our togetherness, and our youth would have confidence that the change shall come about. So once again, I welcome you on behalf of the Prime Minister of Pakistan, on behalf of the Minister of Commerce. I welcome you all here because this is, and these kind of fora are singularly most important for us. Europe is particularly important for us because of the innovation ecology that it has. It's not just the businesses. These businesses and these businessmen are the products of the greatest universities that sit in Europe over hundreds of years. So these are not things that you can just replicate. You can wake up one morning and put a brick and mortar infrastructure and say, voila, this is how it's going to be. So I think when your businesses come here, they bring that tradition, they bring that knowledge, and they bring a whole new system through which our young generation can be inspired by ingenuity, human ingenuity, and new thoughts and new ideas. So we welcome you all. Now all of these things can be done in a very unsustainable manner, because the second important element, one important element is productivity, and the second important element is sustainability. If you really wanted to create wealth, you can burn everything that you have in one go, and that's it. That's it, you've created wealth, which would be a little blip, which would be gone. But the art of balancing the resources in a sustainable manner, the art of creating this engine that keeps going and keeps giving and keeps going and keeps giving, is basically what we are looking forward to. And towards this responsible use of resources, Europe is coming up. Europe is indeed the champion, probably the only champion left now, of climate change, environmental responsibility, and so on and so forth, and the green revolution. So I personally think that Europe has come up with a certain hurdle rate for the rest of the world, in the way of CBAM, in the way of Green Compact, in the way of many new relationships which are going to roll out beginning this year and onwards. And I think that creates a tremendous opportunity for us, but it also creates a hurdle for us. And I was always deeply critical of all of these hurdles, even if and even when they were green. But today, when I found out that it's not just the hurdle that has been created, but a framework has been created to jump over this hurdle. And the European Union has committed to investing over 20 million euros into this framework and particularly helping the SMEs towards green stamping, towards carbon audits, towards innovation, towards creativity. With that, I realized that they're putting their money where their mouth is. And truthfully, this is not just an industrial policy, but it's actually a green compact in which new clusters hopefully shall emanate. I mean, I can give you a number of examples. I always give this example, I studied Sweden and Finland many years ago. I studied their innovation ecology, and I found out that, Finland, for example, was once a forest economy, and Nokia was a rubber and tire company. And in order for them to save their forest and save their environments for times to come, they came up with the world's highest environmental standards. And in the year 2004, when I studied their innovation ecology, they were exporting 1/3 of the world's environmental technology. So these hurdle rates are going to create new clusters, new businesses that right now our kids might not have imagined. But if they're giving a certain target, and they're also enabled by providing resources and technologies and collaborations that you've brought forth, they are going to be, this can potentially become a seed for all of those transitions, the great transitions, the likes of which I have just mentioned. And as you know, Pakistan is a very taxing environment. If you look at the demand function of Pakistan, if you look at the kind of devastations that we faced in terms of climate change, whether they be floods or other ancillary externalities, is tremendous. We've had 6,000 people dead. We've had about 20,000 people injured or disabled. We've had 40 million people displaced, about 1.8 billion school days lost. I don't know very many people which have such taxing demand function, such sophisticated demand function, such cruel demand function. Any young man or woman in this room who comes up with a solution to this kind of hardship is going to have a global unicorn. Because if you can solve this problem here with the participation of the world's best ideas and best companies and best thoughts, I think that is going to be exported globally. So I am of the view that this is a great beginning, not a good beginning, a great beginning. I personally also appreciate deeply, I missed the last session, and our friend, Secretary Commerce was here, and we met and he told me what conversations transpired about the SME sector, and that inspires me. Because I think when I get up in the morning and I look into the mirror, honestly, what I see is a dinosaur. When I talk to my children, and I was talking to my son and my daughter-in-law last night, and I didn't even get what they were talking about. They were talking about Claude, they were talking about technology stacks, they were talking about agentification, and I was like, whoa, where am I living? And I think the focus that this forum has afforded to the youth in the way of thinking about SMEs, I think is inspiring for me. There's big revolution brewing outside, globally. There's a revolution of electrification. This revolution of electrification has an underpinning of metals and minerals. We have cognitive technology revolution brewing in the way of AI. We have ubiquitous access to information, an information revolution which has already taken shape and form. We have a biotech revolution, we have a nanotech revolution, and they all feed into what I can foresee moving forward. The conversations that I have with my friends' children, with my children, with many of the fantastic young people who don't get that opportunity to get financed, to come up with this, to articulate these ideas of technology stacks and God knows what gibberish they speak, into real solutions, which are globally exportable. I think what you have done today in putting our companies together with your companies and focusing on SMEs and making an actual allocation towards them getting over the hurdles and giving them a high target, a high green target, I think it's fantastic. So I'm very grateful to you all. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to come here and speak with you. Bernard Shaw used to say, and I'm going to paraphrase because, I don't recall the exact phrase, he used to say that many men look at things the way they are and ask why. Today I look at this room and ask myself, why not? So let's give it a shot. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Minister.
Thank you, Honorable Minister, and thank you, Ambassador, for being here. Ladies and gentlemen, truly a moment to capture. May I request the entire team from the EU delegation in Pakistan that has been behind putting this wonderful high-level EU-Pakistan Business Forum together to please join us up on stage. First and foremost, of course, Mr. Jerome Williams, the Head of Cooperation at the EU, Ms. Maria from the GIZ. May I request you to please join us. May we have Afshin Menham, please come and join us. Some people have called it a day already from the team or probably taking care of other tasks. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for the entire team of EU delegation in Pakistan. They've done a fantastic job in making sure that this runs wonderfully well. Summer, who's been keeping us all updated on social media about the various informative conversations that have been happening. A lot of midnight oil, sweat, and tears have been shed for this to come together, and they truly deserve a big round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for them. And as the Honorable Federal Minister has said, this room truly charms us all and lets us ask this question, why not? Because truly sky is the limit with cooperation and partnerships coming together. I'm also told that this is the first of many, and after this you're going to see more targeted, more synchronized, focused sessions coming up, forums coming up that will allow us to harness the power of the EU-Pakistan business network that has come through. It will allow us to unlock the true potential via the Global Gateway and many other programs that have been initiated, such as the Better Environment, Better Governance initiatives as well. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again for being here. We're going to now have a final cup of coffee together at the EU-Pakistan Business Forum and hope to see you again very soon. Please do send us your comments and feedback on how to improve upon this forum, and do pass on the relevant information to the contacts that you feel can benefit most. Once again, thank you very much for your presence and participation.